And the goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for rapping.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Like
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot, up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Tonight, we get into some year-end banter, tie a bow on 2024, and look forward to 2025. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese.
And I'm your co-host, David Moore.
And you are listening to...
Your next favorite band.
Wrapping up our second full year. It's been a 2.5 years of total
We have
duration.
entered into our terrible toddler stage at this
Correct.
point in time.
I'm going to throw a tantrum by the end of this one. And
I hope so, because my pudding is not around anymore. And I'm
where's my
kind of...
snack pack?
Yeah.
But we are darn close to 150 episodes.
That's amazing.
And some other cool milestones out there. We'll get to a couple in a little bit, but yeah, no, it's always a pleasure, and we like I said in that kind of show open, we're gonna just tie a bow on some things here. We got a couple different stuff to get to. No guest tonight, just David and I doing some knucklehead banter.
People like it that way? Question mark?
I don't know, probably not. They don't want to hear from us, but occasionally it's good to do like a hard reset.
Sometimes there's just a bunch of stuff, and they sort of get put into the... What did they used to call it? Let's take one in from the smile file. Like that's like what the newspapers used to do when they needed something to fill things up.
Yeah. This would be the one where if we had email, we could bring in listener email.
Right. Exactly.
We don't get that. We'd love to.
Let's go to the letters to the editor, shall we?
Yes. But yeah, no. This is kind of just who no one really wants to come on the show the last 2 weeks of the year. There's holidays, there's year end, there's just hibernation, there's family, the kids are home from college, whatever. There's tons of stuff going on. So we'll just do this as kind of an info sesh, but it's all good stuff. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. We're going to do some highlights and stuff, kind of in borrowing from Dickens here, a ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. But we're going to start with the future, if you don't mind. Do you mind? How about this? Breaking the news of this is the formal announcement of Listen to the Dissonance 2025. So we had shared a save the date. We've already kind of put that out there, so everybody does know there are 2 performances in 2025.
It's going on tour,
and it's moved to a Friday night and a Saturday. The Saturday's afternoon. So the Friday night is the Bethlehem performance at the IceHouse again. On Friday, February 28th. The doors will open at 6. The show starts at 7. There's always the tabling organizations are there, and so we always want to give some time for people to show up and meet with those organizations and, kind of get familiar with the space because it is, a different type of an event. It's not just a concert. It's also, kind of creating that safe space for mental health dialogue. And then the second performance will be on Saturday, March the 1st. and that will be at 118 North down in Wayne, Pennsylvania. Doors on that will be 1:30. Show 2:30. We're expecting it to be hour and a half ish, depending. Again, it's hard to predict based on how it goes. Because it could get deep, and you don't want to rush that, and you don't want to cut it short either. But 4 performers again. Are you ready to hear the lineup?
Sock it to me.
Excellent. So the first announcement is Brittany Ann Tranbaugh, Philly-based. What did she call it? Queer Americana.
That's exactly what she called it.
Yep. Phenomenal songwriter, tremendous performer.
Great personality too. Like
yes.
she's got a very warm personality. We spoke to her in February of 24, and great conversation.
Yeah. So again, David's got a great point there. Every one of these people was interviewed previously. 3 of them this year. One of them going back a little bit. So we'll get to that one in a second. Also from this year, Brian Walker, A Day Without Love. Another
excellent conversation. He really does have a very interesting point of view, and it's worth listening to what he has to say. And we talked to him in March of 24.
Excellent. And his genre is folk punk, which again, these are ones that we don't love using genre. I think these might be beneficial for people because they are very, explanatory, if you will, might be the word. It's not to put anybody in a box, if you will, but like, it helps people to understand probably the sonic quality of what these artists are going to be bringing.
Yeah, and those are both terms that the artists have chosen themselves to describe themselves. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is worth mentioning that as well.
Yep.
So on some level, they've embraced those terms. Brian's got a really great take on the DIY factor. That's definitely the punk side of his.
Yeah, and even has a song, DIY or Die. Next, Cass Noel, who was just on the show on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, our most recent grateful episode, if you will.
Yeah. And probably our most recent interview. Like everything else has been a little bit not straight artist on stage. Like it's been Winter WonderJam, and then it was the 885.
Yeah, it's true.
So Cass probably fits that singer-songwriter title the most, but again, not very descriptive. So just you're going to want to check out her music. It's phenomenal. And then lastly, John Worthy, all the way from Nashville.
And we spoke to him. He was the one that from 23. We spoke to him in March of 2023.
Yes, and famously is the kind of poster child for your next favorite band. He's the silhouette. If you look at the main webpage and most of our orange material, in fact, something that'll be in the next segment, you'll see that silhouette that I'm referring to. So here's kind of the full lineup: John Worthy, Brittany Ann Tranbaugh, Brian Walker, Cass Noel. Listen to this since 2025. Songs and conversations about mental health. Friday, February 28th, Saturday, March 1st. Tickets are now on sale. Both ticket sites are up. It would be an Eventbrite page for the IceHouse because it is very DIY. And then the 118 North show is put on by Rising Sun Presents. That's who we've worked with to get that booked. So 2 different ticket pages, but listen to the Dissonance web page, our landing page on nextfaveband.com has both links. So you can come to there as like, the central hub for all things.
Yeah, that'll make it the easiest. So you don't have to go digging for things unless you know specifically, what you're looking for. But that'll the easiest way. Just go to our website at nextfaveband.com and you can just hit the button, buy your tickets, get ready for the show.
And much more detail to come, but we wanted to put that out there. We wanted to formally announce and, it's the winter months can be tough for people. I think that's one of the main reasons why we chose to do it in this time frame. And so we initially thought don't even announce in December because it's the holiday time. No one's going to hear it. But maybe this is even more difficult. And they need something to be looking forward to, saying, okay, I know that's coming, and even starting to check out the music of those artists because they do have songs specifically about their journey, their struggles, their hope. And it's going to be, again, hopefully, once again, a very special day.
Yeah, I hope so. Last year's was a rousing success, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that replicates itself again this year. We're, doing things a little different with the two different shows. And so the shows are exactly the same. It's the same artist at both of them, but 2 different locations.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. The next topic we wanted to get into is Ghost of Christmas Past. The 2024 year was a great one for us, and we super appreciate everybody's contributions to that. The podcast, we almost get our own little kind of internal Spotify Wrapped, if you will. So it's the software that we use to upload our podcast to all of the different platforms. It obviously aggregates all of that. And in 2024, we saw an increase in 31% on the downloads. So that was very, very cool. And there's that silhouette I was talking about. That's John Worthy. In the little logo avatar deal. So yeah, 31% increase in the downloads versus 2023. And then here were our top episodes. I was looking forward to getting your take on this. So look at that right at the top, David. Listen to the Dissonance preview show was our top downloaded episode.
That's actually quite interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised only because it's a very, we're talking about the artists, we're talking about the type of event. It's very timely.
Sure.
The other ones are all like, oh, you're interested in that artist and you may stumble across it because you just did a search and
Right.
you.
Well, I will
you
say,
cross it.
and
But
it's in the
it's
description.
exciting.
This is where
It is exciting.
Yeah, the algorithm may be helping. There's an interview with Hillary Gleason, who's the executive director of Backline, which is the mental health organization that provides services for free to musicians, as well as Mitchell Lopez, who is basically kind of like the community ambassador for NAMI here in the Lehigh Valley, National Alliance on Mental Illness. And so I think people are coming to it and finding it over searching for those types of things. And then also perhaps, leading up to the event as well for people who were super interested in learning more about. I think people want to know, they don't want to go into something like that, not necessarily, not prepared for what to expect.
Yeah, no, I totally understand all of that. I think my mind is thinking about it differently when I'm saying timeliness, in the sense of that it's the artist interviews are very evergreen in the sense
Sure.
that you're talking to somebody about their music versus this was very specifically tied to the event. And I'm very glad that people are finding it. As I mentioned, it was a rousing success and this probably contributed to that.
Yeah, agreed. Then from there, the number 2 most downloaded episode. Again, this is podcast, not YouTube streams. That's
Right.
a whole other statistic, which we don't have. The software we use, like I said, kind of aggregated this for us. Dust Bowl Revival, second most downloaded episode.
That was a great interview with Z,
Yep.
and he did a great job of also helping get the word out about the episode. So that was kindly promoted by the artist.
He did a wonderful job at that.
Yeah.
So that was very, very cool. After that, Sean Kelly of the Samples, the one we did at Boonton Coffee, that's from a year and a half ago, and it's still now number 3rd most downloaded episode.
Yeah, that one was a special episode. I mean,
Yeah.
we went to a remote location. Sean spent some real time with us. I mean, we even got the director of the film that was about the samples to comment on that after the
That
fact.
was very cool.
Yeah.
And then rounding out the top 5, number 4 was the Hoot and Hollers, and number 5, Smoky Brights.
Great episodes. It doesn't surprise me. I'm glad they made their way into people's ear holes. And there's great episodes out there, so, please go check them out.
Yeah, nextwaveband.com has all of those as well as everything else we've ever put out there. So
All the links
one thing,
to subscribe. So, whatever works for you.
yes, that's something that we do ask for. The like and the follow is great. The subscribe is a little bit better. And again, whether you like it, the video version, so subscribe on YouTube, or you like the audio podcast version, subscribe on whatever platform you prefer.
Why not both?
You could do both. That would be nice too, but
They're
I
both free.
don't. I'm not going to write. They are free. And then the other thing that apparently really, really helps is commenting either during or after the YouTube stream, is putting comments in based on either, if you want to just share a thought, especially if we're truly live streaming, or if you want to just add commentary. And then on the podcast side, the Apple reviews really help as well. So that's one ask that we have, is if you could subscribe, and then also either comment or review, that would be amazing. But also just love everybody's help and support and getting the word out there. It's been very, very cool. It's been a good year and building some nice momentum. And one other thing we've been mentioning is, let's say you watch one episode, or, you happen to be tuning in or whatever, and you're like, I just want some guidance on, I'm maybe even intimidated by 150 episodes. And you just simply want to say, hey, can you guide me on what are your favorite 3 or whatever, what we're probably going to turn to you and say, well, let's make this more about you. What type of music do you listen to? And we can steer in a direction of, again, hopefully your next favorite band. And so reach out to us. Let us know what you're interested in or looking for, and then we'll kind of guide you to a couple episodes to check out, and then it might just kind of steamroll from there. So always happy to do that. 2 different things I wanted to touch on. As we often have said, David, I saw some live music.
Shock.
Right.
All.
But
I am
first,
amazed by this revelation.
I saw some Broadway music. The Avett Brothers have put onto the stage, if you will, a show called Swept Away, and in it, one of the leads is former guest of the show, Adrian Blake Enscoe, who is in the band Bandits on the Run. And he has kind of originated this role and has just simply skyrocketed. They first did it in previews in Washington, D.C. about a year ago. It did well there, so it made it to Broadway. And it's very much, I'm trying to remember the name of the album that most of the music comes from. Give me a second here. It's just slipping my mind.
The Swept Away soundtrack. Original cast recording.
Right. So it's the majority of the music is like kind of adapted from one of the Avett Brothers albums, and I just found it to be amazing because it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like, it sounds like stuff that deserves to be on Broadway, whatever that means. That might even come across disrespectful. That's not what I mean. Is
the arrangements are more? They've become more stage,
right,
arranged versus,
and it works.
The band
really does.
sound.
The album is Mignonette. That was the name of the album. Yeah, I eventually got there. My research got there. Not my brain synapses. It was actually all manual. But Mignonette's the album. It has a lot of the tracks, not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's stitched together in a beautiful story. And then like you just said, the arrangements got kind of Broadwayified. So I do have a little bit of a video here. It's like a 1-minute teaser from when it was getting to Broadway, just to give people kind of a glimpse of what the visuals are stunning, the costume's amazing, the music's great. Not a ton of the music in this, but just to give you a flavor for what Swept Away looks like. Take a listen to that. So
exciting,
isn't it? So yeah, Swept Away. Here's the poster, by the way. It's really, really cool the way they did up some of this, like almost like graphic novel type design on this, and that color scheme is there throughout. They explain it during the show as to what that's all about. It's kind of like a bad omen for sailors when they see this color in the water, and so. Just was so first and foremost, like I was just so happy and proud for Adrian, like knowing like the entire Bandits crew has been so kind to us before, during, after the interview, and just knowing and seeing how much this meant to him and to them, and then to see him up on stage and getting these raucous applauses and stuff like that, like it was just so cool to see it for him. He's very good. I mean, it's just incredible, the talent. And then the lead is John Gallagher Jr. He opened for them at some shows we've seen. And then, but he is a kind of like a folk singer songwriter, but first and foremost, actually originated one of the roles in Spring Awakening. He's been in plenty of other Broadway shows. So his chops are on Broadway, and it's on full display. He's insanely good. And then the whole cast incredibly tight. You can tell like they are like a band of brothers, if you will. Like it's just like, and those moments where you saw like they were on the ship and it was rocking back and forth, the ship does move on stage a little bit, but most of it is them in the pantomiming of things, and it's so well done. Like, it's amazing how you can be in sync with them, with your other people on stage, and you're not really looking at each other. They were so well coordinated. They really obviously spent a ton of time on that, and it paid off. One of the main reasons why I mention this is it's only on stage, and it's the Longacre Theater. It's only there until the 29th, so there's really only 10 days left. So I kind of wanted to make sure, we mentioned it so that in case you're anywhere near New York and you thought that looked good or you were familiar with it but you didn't know it was closing soon, December 29th, 2024 is when that will be wrapping, and there's still a chance to kind of go see it. So it's a very, very cool and special show. And you can say hi to Adrian after the show. He always comes out. It's very cool. So anyway,
he's super approachable. So he would be probably more than happy to talk to you for a while.
Yes. So that's the Broadway music I saw. Then I did actually also see some other live music. I was very motivated to see this band. They were playing in Philly on the 12th of December. Because we missed the chance to see them during Music Fest, and that was fantastic.
Mother Nature took it away.
Correct. Yeah, so that wasn't our doing. We were standing there while it was pouring, and they canceled the entire evening of the festival, basically.
Thunder and Lightning will definitely win.
Yeah. So I was sad because I was so... it was a band that we learned about. I had never heard of them before. The lineup, and then listening to their music, it just kept growing on me, and I couldn't wait to see them and see them perform, because also the unique aspect of their performance is it's 4 separate singer-songwriters who have a flourishing career of their own right, who came together as a supergroup, if you will. They use that in jest, but it actually is a valid, apt description. But they change instruments basically after every song. It is true. And it was pretty fascinating to watch that on display while they still just kind of kept in rhythm, and there was no like dead downtime moments. It was just purely they would switch and go into the next song, and it was pretty awesome. They have a great demeanor on stage. So I wanted to play first. This song was the first track off their very first album, and it's called Come On Armageddon. So here's Fantastic Cat. So that is Anthony D'Amato lead singing this particular song. They also changed, obviously, out the singers. He was on our show just a couple weeks ago, and that was another great interview. The other guitarist, the lead guitarist there, is Brian Dunn. The bassist is Michael Montali. He was part of the band Hollis Brown. And then on drums was Don DeLego. I think the drums is the most impressive part of this crew, because you're either a drummer or you're not. So these are 4 people who were not drummers, and they held their own. You can see this is pretty good what they're doing here live.
Yeah, they're a ton of fun, and they have you joked about the supergroup thing, but they do have a slight sense of humor about themselves, which is they don't take themselves too seriously, but they take the musicianship and the song seriously.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. And actually, just off camera to the right there, unfortunately, I didn't pan. See, this is the new interactivity of the software. Anyway, I love Restream, but I'm not quite used to this new layout.
It's trying to be helpful.
Correct. To the right of that, that I didn't pan over to go, is a countdown to the moment where they will be eligible to be into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So it's on stage. It was there through the entire opening act.
That's amazing.
So when you walk into the space, it's there, and it just says, whatever time until, and it's like 8,000 hours, or days, whatever it is. It's like obviously a really long time.
Like 22 years and until they'd be eligible.
Right. So, and they don't even really reference it. Like they did pretty much like right before the say goodbye encore kind of thing, again in joke, but it's just there and it's just so funny. I think it's amazing. But one other song I'll just bring in by them. Here is Keep Me in Your Heart for a While. And one more song by a fantastic. I wanted to show two songs again to kind of just prove the point about the different instruments and how good they are and kind of the different feel of it. And I'm so happy for them. The crowd was so into it, singing along. They've only been doing this for a little over 2 years, I think. The Fantastic Cat?
Something like that, yeah. They've got 2 albums out, so that you can check out their stuff for sure.
I don't think it was quite sold out, but it was shoulder to shoulder in the standing part. And a ton of people singing along, already knew the music, was super into it. It was really nice. So happy for them.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, if you will.
to go with the vibe. It was fantastic.
Just right there.
Yep, you just can't not do it. But yeah, Fantastic Cat. Check out their music. Go see them when they perform. And it's just going to get harder and harder because they're that good. And might be another group that comes out afterwards and is super kind with their time. We'll talk to all the people who are lined up to say hello. We're hoping to be able to do. So we labeled the Anthony D'Amato episode Fantastic Cat Part 1. And I would say it was, what would you say, like 70% his catalog, and then maybe 30% was the Fantastic Cat from his perspective.
Right, exactly.
So the hope is to do the all 3 of them and then see how that all kind of like, they were even joking. They were like, oh, now you'll be able to tell where all the lies are.
Well, right. And then is there a part 5 where you get them all together and there's like,
the Voltron episode.
The Voltron episode where only Fantastic Cat appears. There are no people.
That's right, yeah. And they're like glued to each other. But yeah, a tremendous, tremendous show. So thank you for letting us share all of that. And now, Ghost of Christmas Present, we wanted to kind of share some of the highlights from the Winter WonderJam because actually, unfortunately, David wasn't even able to be there. So this will be the first time you're seeing some of this stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, wasn't able to make it work. But I am looking forward to seeing this. I got a little bit of a review, if you will, from you, but I haven't seen any of these. I'm looking forward to this.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So, if you remember, we had the artists were Emma Bockrath and Joe Edelmann from the tribute to Radiohead, and then we often do we had a lot of fun doing some of our shenanigans. So, of course, we inserted some of those in between each of the different elements. I was going to share a holiday tune from Emma, one of our shenanigans, and some Joe Edelmann. So. We'll just kind of share it here. So Emma and her crew, she did a trio with a stand-up bass and a sick guitarist. And so they played a song, What Are You Doing New Year's Eve? And I just thought that was a really cool one to play here. So enjoy Emma Bockrath and her trio.
We're going to do a holiday tune for you. It's not like Jingle Bell Rock or something like that, because that felt just a little unlike what we just brought to you right there. So it's kind of like one of the more like that Christmas songs, but it's like one of my favorites, and if anybody knows who I am, awesome. If not, that's probably most of you, and that's cool. My background is in jazz vocals, so this is it's like half Christmas song, half standard type vibe. So yeah, we're gonna totally do this song, and I hope you know it, and I hope you like it, and if you don't, womp. No, you're good. You got that. Okay. When the bells all ring and the horns all blow. couples we know are fondly kissing. Will I be with you, or will I be among the missing? Maybe it's much too early in the game. Ah, but I thought I'd ask you just the same. What are you doing New Year's? New Year's Eve. One whose arms will hold you good and tight when it's exactly 12 o'clock at night. Welcoming in the new year, New Year's Eve. Maybe I'm crazy to suppose
The vibe that night was so good.
She sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and if you heard her reference, like, she wasn't doing Jingle Bell Rock because it wasn't going to fit the song before. The song right before this, like, absolutely took the absolute air out of the room in the most beautifully, like, sad way possible. It was this crushing ballad, and it's something she hasn't released yet. She played a lot of songs that are actually coming. Like, it's not yet out. Like, she has stuff that's already released that she played. But she played a bunch of songs that are, like, she's going to be recording them and releasing them, and they were so amazing. And that one in particular was, like, heart-wrenching, and it was so great. But yeah, she sounds amazing, and was such a great setup of, like, you know, the different kind of, like, established musician versus, you know, someone who's just getting started. I don't know, it was just a really, really cool night, and was special. Like, the backdrop was good. I mean, like, it just felt nice and festive, and people were having a great time. I was just so happy of how it kind of went. It was very, very cool.
That's excellent. I'm
Yeah.
happy that it all came together. She sounds great, and as you mentioned, sick guitarist.
Oh, he's so good. And I got to give some props to Adam Rust. He was there recording the video and then had edited it together so that we could play it for you today. And he did such a nice job. Like, look at that, like, right up in, and the nice fades and stuff. It's beautiful. If you're listening to this on the podcast, check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah, he did a nice job with the video coverage.
Yeah. And I think the other part to point out is the song before this, we're not releasing highlights, we're not live streaming it. It's one of those things where it's somewhat of a reason to try to be there. Like, it's one of those things where stuff like that is so hard to capture. You need to be in the room.
Yep.
And we decided to learn that lesson, and this year do it that way. And that's just, it's a beautiful part about live music, is you got to be there. And so hopefully just simply wanting to encourage people to try and capture these moments, because these are some special musicians and doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's an event. You know, you need to be at the event, and as you said, it's live. You know, this is happening once. Be part of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
She just had such a great energy about her. So that's available for on demand on the YouTube channel if you want to go pull it up and listen to it or watch it again. Emma Bockrath, like we said, there's one album out there and a couple of singles, and much more music coming that seems to be really, really impressive. So it's a name you're going to want to know. And if you see her on a lineup, definitely go check it out. It's pretty amazing stuff. She's great live, as you witnessed.
And you had a conversation with her during Music Fest.
Yes, yeah. There is.
She was part of our Music Fest live stream. So there's a episode with her in it from August of this year.
And she plays a song solo acoustic during that called On Film, which is basically her set closer. Like, it's something that she finishes with, has a great following, and it's such a great song. So some shenanigans to share. So I really have enjoyed the reaction to this. It's this the translation of the songs into another language and then back again. I explain it. It's part of the clip, so let's just let it go. But here was this year's latest translated pop tune.
The other holiday shenanigan we did last year was, who remembers the Aramaic All-Star? Do you remember this? So we took All Star by Smash Mouth and translated it into Aramaic and then translated it back to English to see what happened. And it was awesome. Like, it was just fascinating. And the beautiful part about that is it has nothing to do with anyone other than just the translator that does that. And it's like what the equivalent we used was, if you take your American currency and translate it into yen, and then convert it back into American, it's like it doesn't come back to the same spot where it started, somehow, randomly. So translations work this same way. So we really enjoyed that, so we said, all right, let's do that again. Except none of the translators have Aramaic anymore. I don't know what happened. So the reason why we chose Aramaic was that was the language that Jesus spoke. And so we were like, let's just see what happens, and it was hilarious. So this year, we picked a song and we went to go translate it, and there was no Aramaic. So the second best thing you could do is do exactly what the Bible did. So we translated it into Hebrew, but then we translated it into Greek, and then into Latin, and then into English. And now I bring you, we chose the seminal Mark Cohn hit, Walking in Memphis. So I will now bring you Walking in Biblically Translated Memphis. I donned my sandals, made of blue linen, and boarded the Galilean fishing vessel. I arrived at the land of the Blue Delta in the midst of a thunder shower. King Menace, won't you look over me? I have purchased the passage of a nobleman, but I am as sad as possible. Striding in Memphis, I perambulated 10 cubits from the Nile. Striding in Memphis, are these emotions true? I saw the spirit of Jubal on the Mendacian River, followed him to the gates of the land of grace, and I saw him go straight away. Now the watchmen did not observe him, but they hovered around his sepulture. But there is a comely diminutive item, standing for the king beneath the tropical forest. Striding in Memphis, I perambulated 10 cubits from the Nile. Striding in Memphis, are these emotions true? They have St. Peter's fish on the table. They are singing messages to God out loud. And Shepherd Green is pleased to be in your presence when your tongue is fixed in place. But boy, you have a tongue in Memphis speech. Now Muriel plays the harp on Venus Day in Cairo, and they brought me to give her my attention, and then they requested that I perform. And when I served with all my strength, Muriel asked, "Tell me, are you a Christian boy?" And I declared, "Behold, I am tonight." Striding in Memphis, I perambulated 10 cubits from the Nile. Striding in Memphis, are these emotions true? I donned my sandals made of blue linen and boarded the Galilean fishing vessel. I arrived in the land of the Blue Delta in the midst of a thunder shower. Thank you.
It's so stupid.
Mark Cohn is proud. For anybody that's just listening to this, you should make sure you watch the video on that one because the original lyrics run on the screen while Phil is, let's say, performing that. And it is worth the context to put that in if you don't know the song well enough to have all of those points put out to you. But that was very well done. I mean, that's very well done.
It's
the
so
10 cubits.
Yes.
Like nailing the biblical in that.
There are some other ones that I had fun with. Like apparently a catfish is St. Peter's fish. I don't know. Like there was some other weird things that happened not in the translation as much as like a little bit of research that was like, oh,
Sure.
okay, pull that in.
Right.
So there was some fun things that even if you take a deeper dive in there's like some stuff that maybe isn't exactly obvious that actually works really well for the translation. But I guess I'm just hoping that that's now becoming like a standard bit, and every year we're gonna have some fun with that. Aramaic All-Star was also quite good, but the Walking in Biblically Translated Memphis is now part of the pantheon, I guess is appropriate.
The soon-to-be released compilation album of songs translated.
I'm becoming like
ways you
Shatner.
didn't know. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, enough about me and whatever that passion project is. I'm having fun, whatever. Joe Edelmann. So I'm going to just let this one play because I think it worked so well. Obviously, Joe Edelmann, most people would know him for his part of being the Tom York role of the tribute to Radiohead band They're There. And he has a phenomenal catalog of his own music. That's the majority of what played that night. And then, of course, he was going to sprinkle in some Radiohead songs. And then this one happened where he also does a medley with a Christmas song. And it just works so well that I'm just going to let it play. So enjoy Joe Edelmann.
It wouldn't be a holiday show without some sleigh bells. Copious amounts of sleigh bells. I hope I do this all right. Let's see. Let's give it a little more, Wyatt. That's an appropriate amount of sleigh bells. All right. They love me like I was their brother. They protect me. Listen to me. They dug me my very own garden. Gave me sunshine. Made me happy. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. I call up my friend, my good angel. But she's out with her answer phone. She says that she'd love to come help her. The C word electrocute us all. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. So this is Christmas. And what have you done? Another year over, the new one just begun. And so this is Christmas. I hope you had fun. The near and the dear one, the old and the young. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. So this is Christmas, for weak and for strong, for rich and for poor ones. The road is so long, and so happy Christmas, for black and for white, for yellow and red ones. Let's stop all the fight. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any fear. Everybody sing this next part. War is over if you want it. War is over now. One more. War is over if you want it. War is over now. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream. Nice dream.
Thank you. All right, that was fun. I had played all those songs separately, and then I was like, wait a second. Hey.
Such a cool medley.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And copious amounts of sleigh bells as declared at the beginning.
Correct. So, huge thank you to Joe Edelmann, to Emma Bockrath, to Kate Hughes, who opened with some great comedy and joined me for one of the shenanigan skits, to Ramona and Kat and Godfrey Daniels, the people there, to Mike Duck for doing an amazing job once again on the sound. I mean, just it's always such a special place, and so nice to now feel like just at home there is just such a neat aspect of things. So thank you to Godfrey's for all the year, but also for the WonderJam now becoming an early December holiday tradition. And hope people enjoyed the evening. It was nice that there was such a nice crowd there. It was really, really special. It was very cool. We had some musicians join. Mike Roy, Galen Deary, they both came down with a crew of people to kind of take in the show. Van Gordon, who is not yet on the show, but has great music, and he will definitely be on in 2025. He was there. It was cool. It was very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it.
I'm sorry that you were not there too. We did have a moment in the beginning where we acknowledged that it was going to not be as good as it could be because you weren't there.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear that the show got brought down because of
Yes,
my absence.
It definitely was down a notch.
Kidding. I'm sure it went just swimmingly.
we did swim, but yeah, and also just thank you, David, and to all listeners for a great 2024. It was a super cool year. Whenever I scroll back, I'm always like, oh my gosh, look at all these amazing people who've been on the show. Many of which either I never thought they would ever say yes to an interview, or just never even knew how great their music was. That's another one that's happening, obviously, too, is like, whether it's Music Fest or otherwise, all of a sudden you come across this music. It might be an opener to a band. It might be something you come across through a recommendation, or it might be somebody who reached out. We're starting to have that happen where people are saying, hey, we'd love to come on your show. And we try to listen to each person who does that, and also kind of vet the music and get to see them perform live. And then we're like, wow, this is so amazing. And who never would have run into their music if they didn't reach out. So there's some cool stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic that this is happening and it continues to grow, and that makes the year wonderful.
Yeah, it's super
and
cool.
then we have next year to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. We obviously have, we announced Listen to the Dissonance tonight at late February. We're pretty much already, most of the episodes leading up to that are already booked. So January, February already pretty well fleshed out. We also have some very exciting things in the works for No Planet B Jamboree that are coming together that can't wait to announce some of that, as long as it still stays on the path that it's currently on. We're super pumped for how that's going to get plussed next year. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, happy holidays, happy new year, stay safe, stay healthy. We're going to play one more song after the credits. It's become a tradition also that at the end of the Winter WonderJam, all of the musicians go back up on stage and play Silent Night. And so they do that in a very Radiohead way, which is cool. And it also medleys out with another Radiohead song. So Joe does a phenomenal job there too. And then Emma and her trio are back up there. And I just think that's such a cool thing. But any parting shots, David?
Look forward to our announcement for our 2028 event at this point in time, because it feels like we're planning that far ahead. It's on this.
Well, no, what's nice is, it's busy at the beginning of the year, but then once No Planet B Jamboree is out there and even done, then it's just festival season all summer long, and then we get back into the groove in late fall. But I see your point. There's a lot.
I'm just having fun.
So, a lot of stuff being thrown out there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. We'd like to sincerely thank, let's see, we started at the top there with announcing Listen to the Dissonance, so we have tons of people to thank there. John Worthy, Brian Walker, Cass Noel, Brittany Ann Tranbaugh, and then obviously the IceHouse and 118 North. So please make sure you get to know all those artists, and definitely if you're in the area, plan to join us for one of those 2 days. And also thank you to all of you all for that amazing information about how we're up so much in downloads for this year, and some of those top episodes. Definitely check those out if you have not seen them yet. They're obviously really, really good, as well as tons of other ones. I hope you definitely like and subscribe and follow and comment and review. That would be wonderful to have that happen. Also want to thank Fantastic Cat for letting us kind of share some of their music from their performance recently, and Anthony for coming on the show, and the others for currently coordinating for a future episode, and then also Emma Bockrath, Joe Edelmann, Kate Hughes, and Godfrey Daniels, part of the Winter WonderJam 2024. As always, our hope here is to bring you your next favorite band. If you tuned in tonight because you couldn't wait to hear our year-end banter and all of that great recap and what's to come, thank you so much. We hope that you stick around. 2025 is going to be an amazing, amazing year, and just keep building on this momentum. We are super, super excited for all we've got planned, and thank you so much for tuning in, and can't wait to see you all at a live show soon. Be sure to stick around for Silent Night, a great way to always sign things off. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. Have a great, happy, and safe 2024, closing into 2025, and enjoy Silent Night, featuring Joe Edelmann and Emma Bockrath Trio.
The song is Silent Night, so if you know the song, you can sing along. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round your virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, straight from heaven afar. Gotta look up the word. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Got this part. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Can't take it with you. Dancing for your pleasure. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Edelmann. Emma Bockrath. Kate Hughes. And the wonderful Godfrey Daniels. Everybody have a wonderful holiday